The July 2025 numbers for Ave Maria are in. Is it good news or bad news? And what are the trends for the town of Ave Maria? This is my August 2025 Ave Maria market update. This channel focuses on everything to do with living in Southwest Florida. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or just have questions about the real estate market in Southwest Florida, call or text me at 239-450-5786. And if you want to go ahead and schedule a 10-minute informational Zoom, click the link below in the description. While I do not live in the town of Ave Maria, I spend quite a bit of my business time out in the Ave Maria area. A lot of my buyers are calling with interest primarily in Ave Maria because of the town environment. Everyone loves the concept of a golf cart community, but they are also looking for values, but still being in Collier County. So Ave Maria has a lot to offer. Recently, I've had multiple buyers that have been interested in and have bought in the National. The National is almost done and the values there are strong. So as we take a look at the August 2025 market update, looking at July numbers, we're going to wrap up the time by looking at how each particular main community in Ave Maria are doing for the month of July. So let's begin. So as we do each and every month, we're going to look at the raw numbers coming out of the Southwest Florida MLS system. No filters unless I mention that I am specifically filtering a number. So let's begin by taking a look at the closed pricing for Ave Maria in July 2025. The median price was $420,000. That is down 13.4% year over year. Now the average pricing is $452,297, and that is down just 10% year over year. So is a 10 or 13% year over year reduction significant? Not so much in my opinion, mainly because Ave Maria does have a wide range of pricing from $200,000 condos all the way up to $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 single family homes. So again, when we look at median price and average price, median numbers are the middlemost number. So all the sales stacked up in that middlemost number, that is the median. Average price is all the sales stacked up divided by the number of closings give us the average. The median is what we more pay attention to, but they are both important. So is 10% year over year significant? I don't really think so, too bad. But again, it is something that we should be watching. Certainly when you look at some of the pricing that the builders that are offering in new construction, the deals that they're offering, that does hurt resales, of course, but it also does kind of lower the baselines for the resales as well. So let's continue by taking a look at the number of new listings. Let's look at the activity for the month. 38 new listings. That's equal to what happened a year ago, up from 2023. That gave us a total number of homes for sale at 195. That's up 17.5% year over year. Months of supply. So again, months of supply or inventory, what does this number mean? It's 9 months of inventory. That's up 8% over year, significantly up over 2023. But we know the story of that, right? We know that 21 and 22 took our inventory down to where there was practically nothing, and it's just been building up over time. Months of supply or inventory is the amount of months it would take to sell all of the homes that are currently on the market if there were no new homes to come on the market. So it would take us 9 months to sell out of the current inventory. How does this look over the kind of the history of Ave Maria? Basically we're back to where Ave Maria has historically been. Short of the COVID crisis and the pandemic, and then the extremely low interest rates and the craziness that went on after the pandemic, we're kind of back to a normal inventory level for for Ave Maria. You kind of see here this 8 to 10 months is where bounced around in the normal market, as we would call it. And here we are, bouncing around kind of the same number. Yeah, we hit a big peak here at the beginning of the year, but that's kind of typical. You look at every new year, we see a flux of the seasonal homes, homes going in the market for the seasonal buyers. So nothing here that is strange or abnormal. We kind of are a normal market for Ave Maria. Now, we're going to take a look at what this actually looks like by the communities at the end, so stay tuned. Pending sales, we saw 28. Now, of course, this does not include any of the pending new contracts that have been written through the sales centers like Lennar, CC Homes, Del Webb, Pulte. None of their activity really is shown here unless it was actually on the MLS. 28 were up 86% year over year, kind of back to where we were in 23. I know we're seeing more and more activity because of confidence of the market. Total closings, 25, that's up 31%, back to kind of the normal number, 23. Again, we're seeing more activity and the deals are going to closing. Days on the market, 60. We're down 30.2%. This is the median number. Average number is 80% or 80 days on market, and it's down 28.6%. Again, it's trending in the right direction. So now let's take a look at each of the four main communities in Ave Maria. Obviously, there are subsets, which I can't put all the communities in the screen here, but for the most part, this is the main four markets or the communities in Ave Maria. So we see here, looking at 2025 here, this is total closings, and these are resales. So we see that there were 6 sales in Del Webb, 9 in the National, 3 in Avalon Park, and there were no resales or no MLS sales posted in Maple Ridge for the month of July. Median close price, $517,500 is in Del Webb, $485,000 in the National. Now again, the National, more so than Del Webb, is impacted by the amount of condos that are selling. I recently sold a condo resale that was around 290,000. So obviously, if you have more of those sales in a month, your median price is going to go down. Where if you have more of the single family homes, it's going to be higher. So that really is, to me, the big difference between Del Webb. Obviously, Del Webb is an active adult 55 plus community, so you have very specific buyers. But Del Webb has fewer condos than the National does, and that is going to always keep the median price, most likely keep the median price lower in the National. Avalon Park, 420,000, and obviously because there was no sales in Maple Ridge, there is no data for there. Percent of last list price. Okay, let's talk about this number. So what this means is not the original list price, but as the percent of the list price that the house was at on the MLS when the contract went pending. So for Del Webb, the homes that went under contract in the month of July were at 95% of the ask price. The National, 96.2%, and Avalon Park is at 97%. So again, we're seeing, now we're not talking about where the home started to where they adjusted it to get the buyers to actually be able to make the offer. We're just talking about the point where the offer was made, what percentage. So obviously we are in a buyer's market in Ave Maria, as we are in all Southwest Florida, and buyers are negotiating, but we're not seeing ridiculous offers being accepted because there's enough activity and the sellers are holding on to some value, and 95%, 5 to 3% lower is kind of the normal in a buyer's market. So again, we're seeing activity. Homes are being sold every single day. Months of supply, this is interesting to me. 7.7 months of inventory in Del Webb. Marginal buyer's market, not a huge buyer's market, but the National is really, by definition, a seller's market. However, because of the economy and because of the overall condition of Ave Maria, but also of the Southwest Florida, it is really acting like a buyer's market where the sellers are negotiating considerably. Just closed one here that had a huge price reduction that in the negotiations we were able to save a lot of money for the buyers. So negotiating is strong in Ave Maria and all of Southwest Florida. So if you're thinking about buying, call me. I love the negotiation process. 6.7 months worth of inventory in Avalon Park. Maple Ridge is the outlier. Kind of Maple Ridge is actually throwing the months of supply off, really, when you think about it. For Ave Maria, it's at 14.6 months. So most of the majority of the homes that are on the market are within the Maple Ridge community. Again, you're looking at first-time home buyers, you're looking at young families that, there's a lot of moving around for jobs. I know a lot of employers up north that allowed their employees to move down to Florida after the pandemic are saying, hey, you need to come home. So it's kind of not surprising that we see that there's a lot of resales in Maple Ridge. So again, the market is active. There are homes buying and selling every single day in Ave Maria and all of Southwest Florida. So if you're thinking about selling your home in Ave Maria or really anywhere, how you prepare is critical. That's where my Sell as Stress-Free system begins and continues all the way through till closing day. If you're thinking about selling, I'd love to talk to you about how my system is set up for this type of market. Visit my website or scan the code or just call or text me or schedule an appointment in the link below, and let's talk about your goals and when it makes sense for you to put your home on the market. Now, if you're thinking about buying in Ave Maria or anywhere else in Southwest Florida, I am here to help you. Call or text me at 239-450-5786 and let's have a conversation about which community fits your family's goals and dreams here at the end of 2025 and as we move into the next year of 2026. 2026 is going to be a much more active real estate year. I can tell just by the fact that interest rates have ticked down a little bit and the phones are ringing. There's a lot of talk about possible rate reductions. We don't know. But the bottom line is with economy getting stronger, confidence is returning, and buyers are returning to the Southwest Florida market. If you're thinking about buying or selling, now is the time before all that pent-up demand hits the market. Call or text me at 239-450-5786. And if you've watched the video all the way to this point, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified about my future videos. Until the next video.